Now I welcome Renu Singh to introduce about Ruchi to introduce about Renu Singh.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. I welcome one and all to today's session on behalf of Manakeni Journal and Dr. D. Uma Devi, ma'am. Today's speaker is Ms. Renu Singh. She has pursued her MA in English and MPhil degree from Jamia Millia University. She has published articles on Dalit writings in journals, and she has presented many papers in various national and international conferences. And her area of interest are Dalit writings, gender studies, and Hindi cinema. Now, I would invite Ms. Renu Singh to please start with her presentation.
Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, all of you. And I would like to thank all the organizing team, and a very special thanks to Uma ma'am. Ma'am, it is my honor and privilege that you give me an opportunity to share my views on the topic. I am not an
Guide has
expert.
joined.
Yeah.
Just joined it. Renu Singh, I was little bit worried because I should be all other students. Now you are a special student, so I should be there.
Oh, thank you so
No
much,
problem,
ma'am,
no
for your
problem.
kind words, ma'am. I'm really honored. So basically, I was saying,
Explain that.
yeah. So I am not an expert of the topic, but yes, whatever I'll be sharing, it is based on my understanding of the topic. I have. Let me just share my screen first, and then.
Ma'am, there is a issue in the joining, ma'am.
Oh,
Many students are sending messages to me. Yes, sir. ஏமா நிறைய மேடம் நிறைய பேர் ஜாயின் பண்ண முடியலன்னு எனக்கு மெசேஜ் போட்டே இருந்தாங்க மேம்.
லாரன்ஸ் சார் தான் சொல்லணும். சில நேரங்கள்ல சிக்னல் ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கும்போது அது மாதிரி வெளில போயிடுவாங்க ஜாயின் பண்ண முடியாம. பாப்போம்.
ஜாயின் பண்ணவே விடலன்னு சொல்லி சொன்னாங்க.
அதுல இவர் ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது. என்ன திருப்பி தான் ரீச்
சரி ஓகே
Should I start now?
You start.
Yeah.
Start, ma'am.
Yeah. So, as you know that the topic of my research paper is counters and struggles of Dalits in urban spaces, a study of Ajay Navaria's short story, which is Tattoo. I have tried to divide my paper in 4 sections. First, I'll be talking about a very brief introduction of Dalit literature, and then how this Dalit literature is going into a new phase. Then I'll be talking about the story Tattoo, and at the end I'll be concluding my talk. So I'll start with the introduction. Dalit writing in India is emerging as a powerful voice, claiming the rightful place for Dalits. It is increasingly attracting the attention of critical and literary discourses in India. Today, it is a distinct literary genre with the poetics and politics of its own. As we know that Dalits were not allowed to get education, so under the norms of caste system, Dalits were denied the pen. Before the advent of Dalit literature in India, much of Dalit history was oral in nature. Their lives were not available to them in written forms. And even when available, it was a depiction by those who had no experiential connection with Dalits. It was Dr. Ambedkar who stressed on literary assertion to struggle against the caste system. Thus began the ceaseless movement of literary assertion by Dalits, who went on to write powerful stories about their lives. Poems, stories, novels, biographies, autobiographies produced by Dalits established a new body of literature, which is called Dalit writings or Dalit literature. For the first time, the downtrodden took the center stage. Dalit literature is a literature of exploited and therefore the literature of rebellion. Now, as I mentioned that there is a new phase in Dalit writing, so with the changing time and scenario, the role of literature and expression must also change. Dalit writing is a new phase now. the phase of realization of their real potential. After years of suffering, pain, humiliation, and atrocities, Dalit writings have reached to a point where it is moving away from the image of being oppressed to quest for identity and to social equality. So there is this new term which is coming up that is called Neo-Dalitism. What is Neo-Dalitism? Neo-Dalitism is to question the very literature which justifies the caste hierarchy. It is to develop not only a healthy, not sympathy, image for Dalit, but an image of appreciation for the people who have been unjustly victimized over the centuries and endured it. Now, I have tried to, differentiate between Dalitism and Neo-Dalitism. Dalitism includes whatever, the earlier phase of Dalit literature, and Neo-Dalitism I'll be talking about the new kind of themes and what is changing in Dalit literature. So in Dalitism, Dalit literature is the literary depiction of injustice, grief, pain, oppression, and suffering with sympathetic perspective. In Neo-Dalitism, it is not to artistically portray the sorrow, tribulation, slavery, degradation, and poverty endured by Dalits, but questions them and rewrite them from Dalit point of view. Dalitism includes the saga of resistance against the hegemony of Brahminic literature, which pretends to be omniscient and all-encompassing while presenting a narrow, one-sided, twisted, and biased view of reality. Neo-Dalitism is critically examining and pointing out the flaws on the basis of which this caste system is based. Dalit literature as writings about Dalit sufferings by Dalit writers born out of their Dalit consciousness. The purpose of this literature is to spread awareness amongst Dalit society about their slavery and narrate the pain and suffering of the same to the rest of the society. While in Neo-Dalitism, the purpose here is to construct a healthy image as well as an image of appreciation. Neo-Dalitism tries to project them survivors of exploitation. The themes are changing. It discusses the same problem but with a new perspective. Dalits are not less innovative, regardless of abuse and barbarities for a considerable length of time. They are as yet ready to deliver some commendable writing. Ajay Navaria is one of such writer. Now I would like to talk about who is Ajay Navaria. Ajay Navaria, through his collection of short stories, Unclaimed Terrain, establishes the new trend in the representation of Dalits in the field of Dalit writings. Navaria has portrayed a different Dalit image which is divergent from the past images of Dalit presented in Dalit writings. He does not portray Dalit facing insult, humiliation, or exploitation the way they used to face in the earlier Dalit writings. He has tried to show the new Dalit consciousness, the way they are aware of their rights, realizing the importance of education and economic independence. The issue that Navaria has taken up in the story Tattoo is totally different. He talks about the urban Dalits who have risen above from the lower status to the higher status but remains Dalit and inferior in the eyes of caste Hindus. He discusses about the urban Dalit who have risen above from the lower status to the higher status, which is like higher caste, and have started hiding their caste identities. And this is a very common practice which we have seen in urban India. He has raised the issue of psychological trauma a Dalit faces in urban spaces. When we talk about urban spaces, this is the common understanding that, in urban India, caste discrimination does not exist. It is often argued that urban India is being a melting pot of communities, and identity is not the site for caste-based discrimination. Unlike villages, cities are essentially seen as economic entities that generate wealth, provide employment, and improve quality of life to people. Urban spaces mix up castes. In cities, buses and trains do not segregate people on the basis of caste. In educational institutions, irrespective of caste, students sit in the same class and on the same benches. People are free to abandon the traditional caste based occupations. Such opportunities in the cities foreground class identities over caste. But these opportunities need not necessarily subdue or end social discrimination. Is there any caste discrimination in urban spaces? Is caste discrimination in metro cities is lessened by education, income, and social network? The study of various Dalit narratives, such as Om Prakash Valmiki's Jhutan, Bama's Kark, Sharan Kumar Limbale's Akarmashi, and Ajay Navaria's Unclaimed Terrain, leave the impression that caste discrimination is prominent in the urban areas among the educated groups. Caste continues to be a significant force in almost every sector of the society, such as politics, education, and employment. Unclaimed Terrain, a collection of short stories, establishes the new trend in the representation of Dalits in the field of Dalit writing. Ajay Navaria is an esteemed name in the contemporary Dalit writings. He teaches in Jamia Millia Islamia and has penned a few collection of short stories. He has been also associated with the primer Hindi literary journal Hans. His Unclaimed Terrain, translated from Hindi to English by Laura Burke, fetched him the international fame. The story talks about how Dalits are afraid to disclose their identity and live in constant fear of revealing it. They go through a lot of psychological pressure. In this story, Tattoo, Subhash Kumar, the protagonist, decides to join gym. The incident at gym shows how this man always tries to hide his old shoes, surname, and a tattoo of Namo Buddhaya Jai Bhim in his arm. The tone of the story is simple and amusing sometimes. It does not portray Dalit facing insult, humiliation, exploitation, or marginalization. As mentioned earlier, the issue that Navaria has taken up in the story is of the urban Dalit who has risen above from the lower status to the higher status, who are living the status like higher caste but try to hide their identity. The possible reason for it that the Dalits have not overcome from their inferior past and histories, which still make them feel disgraceful in spite of being in authoritative or at equal social position. In the story, on many occasions, Subhash Kumar knowingly or unknowingly become very offensive when someone tries to know his identity, his name, profession, etc. This may be because of social cultural conditioning Dalits have gone through since their childhood. In such critical conditions, life for Dalits in the educated urban society becomes difficult. They hesitate to have relations beyond the caste boundary as there is always a chance of being humiliated and insulted. Because of the fear of getting insulted and humiliated, Dalits dissociate and alienate themselves from their surroundings. They suffer from a feeling of detachment from society, a state of being an outsider. This might be true that in urban setups, physical discrimination is less, but the psychological trauma faced by them cannot be denied. I would like to quote some of the examples from the story just to understand this psychological trauma better. When Subhash Kumar first entered the gym, he observed his tattered old shoes, and Navaria writes, I quote, "Hello, a young man seated on the throne-like chair saw my smile and greeted me with one in return. Hello, I answered him. Between me and the youth on the chair, there was a small rectangular table. His fair skin face glowed the sheen of wealth and long sharp nose as mark of his lineage. He was wearing blue branded shirt and white gleaming Reebok shoes. Under the table, my shoes faced his. They had lost its original color some time ago. I drew my feet back and put some distance between us. The young man got up, tried to shake hands politely. I took his hand hesitantly. As I put my hand forward, I suddenly remember my tattoo. and as best I could, I turned my arm in such a manner to hold it downward. Unquote. This can be observed that Kumar is not treated badly by the gym instructor. Rather, he was welcomed politely. But his inner low self esteem because of his caste does not let him feel comfortable in this normal interaction with other people. He gets uneasy and stressed and tries to hide his caste identity. Such emotional conditions led to psychological anxiety or trauma. Psychologists define, I quote, it is not the objective circumstances that determine whether an event is traumatic, but your subjective emotional experience of the event. The more frightened and helpless you feel, the more likely you are to be traumatized. Unquote. The tendency to experience exorbitant anxiety in relatively ordinary interactions with other people, a feeling of lack of fit with other individuals or groups, and a tendency to withdraw from others. In all these instances, withdrawal is not used selectively as a response to specific threatening conditions, but rather is an answer to any situation found out to be even vaguely dangerous or precarious. Dalit's mind is always impregnated with self doubt and shameful feelings of inferiority. The protagonist got worried when the gym instructor questioned him. I quote, are you in government service? He was worried about his appearance, but soon he was relieved when he got to know that question was for business purposes. Subhash Kumar said to himself, I quote, he did not find anything out of place in my attire or my manner. He was just asking for business purpose. Unquote. The deep-seated sense of inequality among the Dalits, which has been ingrained for ages, does not allow them to take such comments easily. His effort of shining his discolored shoes in the story could be seen as the effort to shine his tattered self-esteem due to caste experience in urban settings. Dalit tries hard to uplift his soul through education, good job, and tries to mingle with upper caste, but some past experiences does not allow to eradicate the old self. At the end, when his identity got revealed to the gym instructor because of the phone call Subhash received, during conversation Subhash said, Jai Bhim, the relationship with the gym instructor started. Gym instructor also revealed the truth to him that he also belongs to Dalit community and showed his Buddha locket hidden under his t-shirt. At this point of time, narrator found himself and the gym instructor were at the same platform. The gleaming white shoes of the gym instructor were no longer the same now. He said to himself, this one has changed his shoes, I thought, as I looked at my own dyed ones. Suddenly, my eyes fell upon the tattoo on my wrist, Namo Buddhaya Jai Bhim. Oof, these old and discolored shoes can always be changed, but this tattoo? At the end of the story, he accepts and understands that his Dalit identity is unalterable. Ajay Navaria has raised a very important issue here. This is the issue of psychological trauma faced by urban Dalits. In this story, tattoo has become the metaphor for caste identity. Self-esteem can be altered or polished like old tattered shoes, but the caste identity is permanent like tattoo. It is true. I will just conclude by saying it is true that rural migration to urban areas does not abruptly erase social prejudices of caste. These get carried into cities and probably metamorphose into different shapes. Dalits may enjoy some liberty and happiness in cities, but there are different kind of hardships and discrimination faced by them in metropolitan cities. This might be true that in urban setups, physical discrimination is less, but the kind of treatment they get from upper castes do not let them forget their caste identity. Dalits are afraid to disclose their identity and live in fear of revealing it. They go through a lot of psychological pressure and trauma. In the story, Tattoo, Ajay Navaria has highlighted this modern problem of the Dalits in urban middle class society. He does not have a character who is suffering from pain, humiliation, and atrocities in the hands of upper caste. His protagonist is not oppressed, rather, the character is having a quest for identity and to social equality. Modernization, education, and urbanization may have changed the traditional form of caste practice, but the consciousness still operates in the educated minds. Caste, as Dr. Ambedkar has said, is a mental state. Therefore, it cannot be eradicated through constitutional measures alone. Insensibilities of people around force Dalits to question their identity. Thank you.